bath and a shower about a day. There's this guy who went to the church, and it's like a time capsule of some sort. I don't know, but he's really smart. He knows too much, so he's obnoxiously annoying, and he tells everybody what to do. He wasn't anyone's boss, really, but he just had so many jobs, and they made him do all sorts of stuff that he knows everything how to do. So, like, you can't mow the lawn without him absolutely laughing and going crazy about the details of it. But anyway, he would be, though, the first guy you'd think that would never get a vaccine, that would never this and never that, never nothing. He would, you think he wouldn't listen to anybody. But this guy, actually, the first sign of it, straight to his farm. That's the first sign of coronavirus. Straight to his farm. He disappears. As soon as the government said anything, he was gone. I didn't know. I spent like a year or two, not knowing what happened. I haven't been in church in a while. I'll admit that. I haven't been in church in a while. But, we still talk about the church family, sort of. But this guy just, poof, man. He knew everything. So he was gone. He was on his farm, and he had his stuff. It's like, what, you've been waiting 10 years for this? But I know he still hasn't come up out of his hole. It's been a year and a half, and he hasn't shown up in the society yet. This guy's great. But that's the thing, you think he'd be totally right wing or this and that, and like there's even some people like him that like deviated from the Democrat Party and are in jail now because they went to a tour of the Capitol or whatever at the same time. But seriously, like, he does make slip ups, like he saying stuff because he's from a long time ago. He's real old, but he even blew his shoulder off with a gun on accident. Whenever everybody was getting guns and stuff, he had some pretty good heat. Guns he always had, but that's another thing he was annoying about. He wanted safety monitors or something to follow people around with guns, whatever they're called. But that'd be retired sheriffs, I guess. But yeah, that's hilarious. This guy just disappeared, and like, there's no talking to him. There's nothing. He's like self-sustaining on his farm, and that's it. Just him and his wife just at the farmhouse, like Superman. Like a Superman movie. Like, seriously, this guy is pulling an absolute Superman movie from the 80s. Just hide out on the farm. I didn't care, but now I do care. I got a short time. I'm an old. They scrambled my brain and everything with a ton of medications and threw my personality in the trash and all that. My fault for taking them. Banned in the UK. Oh, I didn't know that was the new symbol for quality. But, in the United States, there's a long way to go with medications. What I've always wanted was like like there needs to be a black or a minority for each minority or something for their own pharmaceutical company. The government really should have forked up decades, a whole score, like 5 score ago. Really, for that, because you can't have a bunch of white people making medications for someone else's body that they know nothing about. You got all these stuck up doctors and stuff, and they can't do no research. They don't even listen to anybody. They have dogma. All these medical professionals have so much dogma, and they're killing and hurting people, even by blood type. Really, if you go by certain blood types, you're not too bad off. It's still, you might have some mess ups, but it's important. You gotta pay attention to this stuff. People, they take meds, and it can stretch it do all sorts of things like poison to them. Fast tracking's one thing. What works for some people is they actually withstood and survived it. You're going to stretch out people's joints. You're going to ruin their cardiovascular system. You're going to rupture veins and stuff. You're going to mess up their thyroid to where their blood pressure's cockeyed. And not only that, your kidneys. They can get irritated and screw you up. That's the thing. They want to solder your dang kidneys to lower your blood pressure. And that's going to be like a state law, probably in Missouri, to force that. You don't believe it. You don't believe any of it. Like, I'm not giving medical advice. I'm trying to do like satire or something, or just vent. I'm not forcing anyone to do anything. I care about people. What I watched when I got older, I am an absolute. I am a pawn. I am naive. I'm an absolute fool, a pigeon, whatever you want to call that. Whatever, like but dang it, they programmed me in the early '90s. They freaking did. So I had all these heroes, all these outstanding people of character, and they were all black. All right, and I watched them all. Either they were killed, or they were disgraced or destroyed. I watched that all. And why? Because of the new guy that the Democrats wanted. That's why I sat there and watched. You know, no one cares about Chuck Berry, but Kobe Bryant replaces God on Facebook. Now, I don't care about his political persuasions, but he wouldn't have wanted people to declare Kobe Bryant God on Facebook.